way too beefy for the power it makes. I don't know if the camera picks up the sound, but this thing sounds sick. Alrighty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. So today, it's a very special day. It's actually my dad's 5 years since he passed. So I decided to take the car out for a little bit of a drive and give you more of a point of view style video, just because I asked the guys on Instagram, if you don't follow it, go follow it, Loveday.motorsports. So I asked the guys on there, and a few of them said they want more of a point of view style video. So today I suppose that's what we're going to do. First of all, before we go for any sort of a drive, we're going to go put some fuel in, and then we're going to go see the grave. So we're going to go see Dad's grave. We're going to go past there, take the white car past. Haven't been there with this car yet, so but I think he'd be pretty happy with it. So we'll go show that. We'll go see Dad, and yeah, then we'll go for a bit of a hills cruise. We can't really do too much thrashing as such, just because these brakes, the stock brakes in the R31s definitely aren't the best. So we're just gonna go for a little spiritual drive. Let's do it, eh? Interested to see what $40 worth of 98 gets me on the dash. It's pretty well empty. I think it ends up to be about 20 litres worth of fuel. Should be over a quarter. I tell you what, this car needs a dose pipe. It doesn't have a blow-up valve or anything in it, but it's just because I've got a HKS mushroom filter on it. Obviously it gets rid of a lot of the intake noise, so I'd like to get rid of that eventually. There's a little bit, but it's not the typical RB30, so we definitely need a dose pipe on this thing. Alright, let's go get some food, eh? That $40 ended up getting me just over a quarter of a tank. God damn. So I suppose I'll tell you a little bit of a rundown about this thing, so you can get an idea of kind of what I'm driving. So it's a 1989 Nissan Skyline Executive base model, but it's a little bit spicy. So it's an RB30. I have done a full rundown on this, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight of what we're driving today. So it's got a weighted cam in it. I put the specs up. So it's got the cam, it's got a 3582 genuine Garrett, not a Falcon. It's got a 0.71 front housing and a 1.06 rear. So it's a pretty laggy boy. As you can see, it's also an automatic. It's got a built auto, one of the Series 1's trans, which kind of sucks. Pretty well built to take about 300 to 350 kilowatt with the turbo. It's got a big converter in it to suit the cam. It's currently tuned to just over 200 kilowatt on 12 pound. So this tune was purely just to get the car running. And because when I bought it didn't idle, so that's why it makes such little power. So it's got dual valve springs, it's got ARP head studs, it's got ARP top to bottom, but it's got ACL forged pistons, but still got the standard rods. It's got ACL bearings, head gasket, like metal head gasket, 8-to-1 comp. Yeah, it's a pretty spicy little unit. It's just very detuned at the moment. Thank you. By no means at the moment is this car built to handle. I've got no power steering, my pump's no good. It does have a belt on it. Yeah. It does have a belt on it, but the pump's just, it's definitely seen better days. I'm on 15s with like a 185 or probably a 195. I'm on very average suspension. It's definitely not a recipe for handling, especially with the auto. Like, auto definitely works, but how this car's set up at the moment, it's not built to handle the way, for example, the wagon would. The wagon handles heaps better than this thing. I don't know why. It's just maybe because no power steering. It's really weird because obviously the pump's working a little bit. It's one of those cars where you drive it harder and it's very rewarding to drive when you get it right. But if you get it wrong, it all goes to shit pretty quickly, I'll tell you that much. Good rig. Thank you very much. Thanks, mate. My tyres are screeching. I haven't had this thing aligned or anything like that, so I definitely can't push it too hard. And these stock brakes, they definitely don't like it. They will get hot very quickly. That's another thing, guys. If you're planning to turbo your RB30, make sure you put some good brakes on it. When this car was sold originally, it was sold with a full S13 front end, big brakes, and obviously when I bought it, the dude took that and used it as profit, I suppose. He took a lot of things from this car compared to when he bought it. So the guy I bought it off wasn't the actual original owner of the car that built it. He owned it for probably, I don't know, 10 months to a year. But the original owner, he had it for what, close to probably over 10 years, so probably 12 years of his life. He had this car when he was 19 years old and sold it when he was just over 30. So 31, I think he sold it at. It's pretty coincidental considering it's a 31. think there's some cliffs coming up. Trans is super healthy though, considering it was built many years ago. The original trans build was built like 15 years ago. It's been refreshed probably 3 times since then, but considering it's been the same trans the whole time, saying that, it hasn't really been driven that hard or that often. Alright, we'll do a little pull for you. Considering it makes 200 kilowatt, God, it goes hard. It's probably the mixture of the diff gears, the converter, the turbo. It's not as responsive as I probably would like it to be, but with an extra 100 to 150 kilowatt, it'll go well. Probably asking me, why the hell did you go build auto? This is why. So responsive. Tap it back, put it in the gear you want. Tell you what, second gear is a real sweet spot. Especially when it hits. Guys, thank you very much for watching. It's pretty well short and sharp, this video. So like I said, we're just doing a little day trip. Went for a little bit of a drive, but now we've just come back and pretty well just have a look over of the R31, because we have done a fair bit to this car since we have got the car. So pretty well, when we bought the car, it was untuned, hardly idled, ran like shit, was fouling plugs, way too much fuel. Just because the guy put the cam in, he put the injectors in, did the ignition system, so the ICE ignition system with the race coil. So he did all that and pretty well never got it tuned. After the motor was built, he did all that stuff. So separate from when the motor was built, he put all that stuff in afterwards. And then, yeah, kind of just sat it there and didn't really drive it. As you would have just seen, we pulled the rock cover off, made sure all the ARP head studs were tightened because it has obviously had like a few heat cycles. It's been tuned. So we went over those head studs to make sure it was, you know, all smick, and there was no issues. So that top of that head is so clean. So obviously it's had the cam, and it's had dual valve springs and ARP studs. And yeah, it looks really smick. So I'm really happy with how this engine bay is turning out. There's a few little things I'd like to do. Black couplers, obviously, and then just tidy up a bit of wiring. But other than that, I'm pretty happy. I'll show you quickly, and then we'll end the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the driving videos and stuff like that, because that's super easy to do. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Set the GoPro up, and then obviously just more goes into the editing. But other than that, let me know what you guys thought about it. Let me know what you think about the car. And yes, it is slow at the moment. Yes, we're going to make some more power very soon. Once this S13 front end, and once I've done the big brakes and the suspension stuff, then we can look at going E85. So we'll show you the process going E85, and then also hunting probably 300 odd kilowatt. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more content. I've got heaps of it. We've also got an R31 drift car with a barrier in it. So we're taking that out we would have taken that out. We would have just taken that out. You would have go see the other video, put it up here. And then yeah, other than that, there's plenty more content to come. I've got the wagon, got the drift car, got the Prado, and this thing. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more, and stay tuned for more action, I suppose.